Welcome to the Danny Picard Show. Welcome back to the Danny Picard Show. On what used to be one of my favorite weekends of the year, Paul.
Really? Like you were really into it at least one point?
I was really into St. Patrick's Day weekend.
Okay.
You were never?
Like as a kid, maybe, but I don't remember as an adult ever. I was done at that point.
Well, I mean, at what point do you call yourself an
Let's
adult?
say out of
What
high
age?
school. I might have
Out of
liked
high
it
school.
still
You
in
were an
high school.
adult right out of high school?
No, but yeah,
You're supposed to be.
in the eyes of the law.
You went to BC High, a man for others, right?
Yeah,
Not
exactly.
a child for others, a man
Exactly.
for others. You're an adult. No, I mean, look, I look at St. Patrick's Day weekend growing up in Southie. It was always a day where you'd go watch the parade, and when you were underage,
See, that's
you'd have a backpack and you'd be drinking beers, and then obviously you're 21, you can go into L Street Tavern before the parade. We used to just go to one of my buddies' parents' house.
Yeah.
They have a party every year. It's great. We go watch the parade, have a couple drinks, go back to the house, and it's a great weekend. We also used to play in this hockey tournament, the Irish-American tournament, down the rink, which started Thursday night. So it was a whole weekend.
Oh,
And it was awesome. So we'd play the games Thursday night. We'd go to the bars.
Someone needs to put that on YouTube.
Same thing on Friday all day, and then the championship on Saturday morning, and then we'd go out, and then you got the parade on Sunday, and it was an awesome weekend. But as the years go on, and I don't think, by the way, I know it would be easy to say that this is just me getting older and getting more boring, but I don't think that's actually the case. And anybody who's from Southie will tell you that. Like, I think even some of the younger kids, because it's become, like St. Patrick's Day weekend in Southie, the parade day specifically, has really turned into something that I don't even want anymore.
Yeah.
Like, I just want them to not have the parade.
Yeah.
If they want to do
take it downtown.
If they want to do the breakfast and have something, down, you'd have a block party, right, on one of the streets down on Broadway, like, that's fine. But this huge parade where we go through the whole neighborhood and people just continue to come in and wreck the place, because that's what they do.
1 million people come into, I think, what do we have, 30,000, 40,000 people who live here? 1 million people come in.
They come in and they wreck the place. And now, I'm not just coming to you with this rant as a South Bostonian, a lifelong South Bostonian. I'm coming to you as a bar owner. Yeah. Now I own a bar, and I don't just own a bar in Southie. I own a bar on the route of the parade. So there's been a lot of stress. I don't know how this is going to go. We've amped up security.
That's
We're
smart.
doing a cover charge, and
Smart.
we're actually shutting down the golf. There's no golf. We're just doing the bar.
You don't want
and
anyone
we're just
fucking
doing
with
the
any of
lounge.
that shit. Yeah, that's perfect. That's perfect.
I'm
idea.
worried about being on the route, people coming in just to use the bathroom.
Yeah.
So that's why we have the cover charge. Like, we
Perfect.
don't even have live music or anything. Like,
Yeah.
it's just the cover charge is so that you won't pay that to only use the bathroom.
Yeah.
If you want to pay to come have a couple drinks, I think you'll love it in there. And I hope you do come in. But the chaos in the area that comes with the parade here in Southie, it's become something it's not supposed to be.
And it's been a while too. It's been 4, 5, 6 years of kind of just nutcase shit.
Yeah, and again, I think it's been growing over the years, like the crazy shit.
Well, that's
that
part of the
goes
thing
down.
too. Like, there's always been problems, but there wasn't a million people. There was like the million people thing is new the last couple of years.
You still had a good amount of people here during this day that actually cared about the neighborhood.
All right,
I
that's
think what's
probably a good
happening,
point.
What's happening is, as the years go on, more people move out and more new people move in, and it's like suddenly you have a much larger group of people who, not even the people that move in, the people that just come
that
and
just
visit.
come that day. Yeah.
And, they just don't give a shit about the neighborhood as much as, more people did maybe 8 to 10 years ago. So it's different. It used to be my favorite weekend of the year. Now, I don't know. Who knows? Paul, maybe I could be wrong this year now that I own a bar.
It might flip.
It could be a great day.
Yeah.
And it could be a day I look forward to next
Well,
year.
that's what I was saying. Like, for you, it makes sense. It might be a great year for you. The parade might be great for you, but for any normal person, it makes no sense that if you're into it. It makes no sense to me.
Are you going to go watch? the
Yeah,
parade?
because Sharon's like her like younger family will come. We'll watch it for 5 minutes, and then they'll be back here.
Yeah.
That's what they do every year. They're literally 5 minutes.
You
10
gonna have a drink
minutes.
up there, or you just?
No, I won't. No. I keep it easy. I don't really drink anyway, but
Yeah.
I only drink hair in this house for that. It's just too
No public drinking.
It's nutty out there. It's just too nutty.
It is nutty out there. Even today, we're recording this on Saturday night.
Yeah, people are zipping around.
And, I'm going to head back down there, actually, tonight. But we had this scheduled, so we're going to keep with our schedule. My schedule's wacky. I don't just have this and Broadway Golf Club going on. There's some other things that are happening. We are still running and owning the pro wrestling company, the UWE, Undisputed Wrestling Entertainment. But this show in March has been postponed. And if you're looking for the video of the last show, there's some stuff going on there too. We're trying to sort that all out. But I've been a lot of my time has been consumed with St. Patrick's Day weekend here and Parade Day, and there's a lot going into it. More than you could even imagine. I don't really know where to begin. But
you're almost like a general. Like it's like you're being besieged. It's like an army coming, and you have every contingency planned for. You need to. The cover charge for the bathroom thing was smart.
Well, everybody else is. I've talked to other bar owners in the area. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
How do you do this? They obviously know the issues. They cut down on their occupancy, and they'll leave the line. It doesn't matter. They'll do the cover charge. And obviously, we have to close early.
Yeah.
Right? We have to close earlier.
Starting early, closing early, yeah.
So we open at 10 a.m. This might be out after the parade anyway, so we're maybe wasting our time to open the show with it. But anyways, it's St. Patrick's Day weekend. It's also getting closer to WrestleMania, and the last time anybody tuned into this YouTube channel, they saw us doing a live stream of WWE Elimination Chamber in which John Cena turned heel. The heel turn heard round the world, and we reacted to it live. We predicted it earlier in the night during the live stream, and it ended up coming to fruition. And we had a live reaction. And what's funny about that is WWE, they took like clips of reactions, and they took some of the worst shit out there. Now, I'm not saying our reaction was this great, crazy reaction.
It was real, though.
It was real, and it was much better than the ones WWE showed. So, and by the way, we're doing a lot of stuff better than WWE. You watch that LFG show they do?
I haven't seen it yet. No.
Right? They have people cutting promos. Listen. You guys want to learn how to cut a promo down in the LFG in the Indies? Why don't you come listen and watch me? I'll teach you everything you need to know. And that's where we're at with WWE. But I do want to react more on the John Cena stuff. We are also going to give we keep teasing this. We're going to do it on this show. On this show right here, we're going to give Mount Rushmore of professional wrestlers.
We kind of did a little bit of work.
We've been teasing it for like a year.
Yeah, and on the live stream, we did a little bit of work. We really kind of got 3 solid ones, but we didn't really get a 4th one.
I picked a 4th.
Okay.
I don't think ours are the same.
I don't think our 4th is. I think our
You think our other 3 are the same?
Well, it was that day. I don't know if you changed yours.
I did not. I didn't change it from what I remember.
Okay.
I know you were pouring wine by the end of the live stream, so we were drinking a little bit. I ranted and vented a little bit towards the end on some stuff. And by the way, we talked about Bill Burr at the end of the live stream. He's in the news now.
I know.
You know what?
It's silly.
So it's silly because
how quickly people forget. That's how I feel.
All right, I do have to say something though, and I think it sounds like we're going to disagree on this. I guess I just want to live in a world. And this kind of sounds like like shut up and dribble or shut up and shoot, right? But I feel this way about comedians. Like I go on Twitter now, or X, whatever you want to fucking call it. And I am now seeing like comedian after comedian after comedian be like this political commentator. And I just think that these guys need to choose. Do you want to make people laugh? Or do you want to do political commentary? Do you want to be a comedian or a political commentator? I don't think you should want to be both, and I don't want you to be both.
Yeah.
But every comedian now
They've gotten
is
a little caught up
obsessed
in
with
it.
politics.
It's not now. It's been for a while.
Has it been for a while?
It's been for a while.
Or maybe I'm just noticing now because it's in my fucking face every time I turn on Twitter.
There's just more that are specifically on one side that's really in your face right now.
It's because of Rogan?
Oh, it's the Rogan influence.
Right?
Yeah,
This
Rogan's
is the Rogan
biggest
effect?
dog. He's got the biggest.
This is the Rogan effect?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's also just this like circle jerk of people that they go on each other's shows and it's the whole thing.
But it's always been like that.
Yeah. Look, I've never been part of the clique. I'm not part of any clique. So when I see clicky things, anything that's clicky to me, I just kind of pisses me off.
Yeah.
But it's like, dude, I don't care what side you're leaning in politics. If you're a comedian, yeah, this is the shut up and dribble thing. Like I don't pick something. Do you want to be a serious? Because you can't. It's just I know politics has become comedy because Donald Trump is essentially a comedian, right? That's what he is.
It also depends on what kind of comedy you're doing. If you're doing like current event comedy, what else is happening in current events? Like, do you know what I mean?
No, that's
it's taking over everything.
But no, I'm not talking about if you do it on during your show.
So you're saying when they're just running their mouth outside.
Like when you're now out there like promoting your stuff and I have to watch a serious interview with you talking politics. It's like, dude, shut the fuck up.
I don't disagree.
I don't give a fuck.
I don't disagree with
Bill
that.
Burr, I love Bill Burr. He once retweeted my street hockey documentary.
Okay.
363 The Road to the Southie 3-on-3.
So Bill's done good about it.
Forever.
Yeah.
You know, a special place in my heart, Bill Burr, forever. Like, that was one of the few people that retweeted that out. Thank you, Bill.
And didn't have to.
Didn't have to.
Exactly. So that's...
No, he didn't tag me or anything. It would have been nice.
Still, though.
But still, he pumped it out. And I could easily say, like, X amount of those views credit him.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm grateful. I'm a grateful person. I'm a reasonable person, Paul. But being grateful and reasonable, I'm grateful for his comedy as well. And I'm reasonable in the sense that I don't want to turn on Twitter and see Bill Burr like on the Charlemagne the God show talking politics.
Yeah. He was in
no, dude.
In his little trip recently has been pretty rough. I'm not going to argue that.
Oh,
but
man.
my problem is how quickly people forget cuz those people as soon as when he wasn't talking about Elon and Trump, there's plenty of those people who loved him right up until that point. So that's the problem I have with it. I'm like, you guys, like, as soon as he just didn't say something you didn't like, now you're at that after that. When he was just talking about white women, it was hilarious and we all liked it. But now he's picking on Elon. I don't know.
Yeah, he's picking on the other side now. So the other side that loved him now. And that's not where I'm coming from.
No, I know.
I'm talking about in general, dude. Because you know me, this show, we're in the center. Like, I have no political affiliation. I just don't give a shit about really either side. I do think Elon Musk is a fucking goof.
It's hard not to think he's a goof.
Donald Trump is a guy that I just go away.
He's
mainly because of all like the fights that he causes between people in society. Like, do we really like? Is he that good at the end of the day? Where like he's ripping the
is
place
any
apart?
Politician that good? At the end of the day?
Any politician, and he has
exactly.
become a politician now, and they'll say, no, he's fighting for common sense. It's like, I don't know, dude. That's a dude with common sense. like I do think there are things he tries to do. He means well, and he means better than
what it was, whatever that direction was.
With that elite group of people that would just. Obviously, with the U.S. aid profiting, trying to profit off some of the craziest shit you could ever imagine.
Yes.
Like, I get that, and I get it that Elon's digging into that.
But that's
I'm just talking about
though.
in general. Step out of the politics, look at these people from afar and go, fucking goof, boob,
exactly,
ass clown. Like, it doesn't matter what side you're looking at.
Exactly.
I don't go, Trump's in office now? Oh, he's a cool dude. No, he's not.
Just because it's your side getting it right now, you can still question your side if that's your side.
Yeah.
No, there's no emperor's hair. That's the point of America.
Yeah, it is. But to see comedians like just go on these political rants. By the way, nothing I'm saying is political. Just so everybody fucking knows. Like
I wonder if the Burr thing is more of a response to like the Rogan thing.
What's the Rogan thing?
Well, just Rogan. Rogan definitely embraced that side.
What do you mean? No, he calls himself a liberal.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a good point though. But I think you still could be a liberal and embrace that side. You know what I mean? Because they've changed all this shit so much.
Yeah, that has changed.
But Burr could just be a contrarian.
Rogan's not a liberal. He's crazy. That's fucking crazy, Paul. Like he's not.
It depends.
He's trying to.
Yeah.
There's some people he definitely can't piss off too much. No, there's too much money there. So you got to say it every once in a while. Oh, I'm a liberal. They changed on me. It's I don't think so. I don't feel that way. But I digress. I don't want to keep going on X and see comedians get in having these serious political conversations. It's just
Or Charlemagne the God, honestly. Like it's kind of insane.
Well, you know what though? Charlemagne the God, he's a host that brings people on, and they do talk about real world stuff. They do talk about real world stuff.
It's like the male view is what Charlemagne the God is.
I don't know enough about him to judge him like that. To be honest, all right, whose side is he on? Drake or Kendrick Lamar?
I have no idea. That's how you.
Because anybody who sides with Kendrick Lamar over Drake is, to me, doesn't know what the fuck they're talking about. Drake is one of the greatest we'll call him creators, because I think he's more than a rapper, he's more than a singer, he's an artist, but he's more than an artist. Like, I think everything that comes along with Drake is the fact that people have flipped on him is mind-blowing stuff. And the people that should be in the know on it, right? I mean, they're on a hip-hop radio station. But if you side with Kendrick Lamar, man, I can't. You're biased. And the only thing that you could possibly be biased there with is some type of politics. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Right?
And Charlemagne's definitely tapped into that.
Is he? I don't know.
Yeah, he definitely
I don't know how he feels about any of the stuff I just said. He might be on my side. In that case, he's a very smart dude that I like, and I'm going to start listening to.
This is AI.
This is AI? Hey, by the way, isn't it great now when you put something in Google?
Yeah.
It gives you the actual AI definition or meaning.
Charlemagne the God has been more critical of Drake than Kendrick Lamar. Criticized Drake for losing a rap battle to Kendrick.
I don't
and
think
for
he
his
lost.
Emotional speech at a party in Toronto.
He didn't lose.
I'm just saying. Like,
I know.
Now we got him on the
Family Matters, to me, is the most overlooked, underplayed part of that beef.
Well, okay. Yeah. I don't know enough, but I knew who Drake was before, and if they never did that beef, I doubt I would actually know who Kendrick was, other than his name. It put him on the map.
Put him in the Super Bowl.
For someone
you think he's in the Super Bowl without this beef?
Well, definitely not, because someone like me I knew his name. I've heard his name, but I didn't know anything about him at all. So until they did this thing with Drake,
Drake's the
I
GOAT.
never would have known.
Drake's the GOAT.
So I can't really.
Drake's the GOAT. Okay,
he dresses stupid. I've seen some dumb things.
Let's not.
I'm just saying, dress dumb.
No comment.
Not that Kendrick does better.
No
but.
comment. No comment. I mean, I didn't even know what Kendrick Lamar looked like before this.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Honestly, I didn't know.
I didn't either. I had no idea.
No, it's not that I haven't heard his music or his raps, but I mean, he's a rapper. He's a really good rapper. But there is some of it that I listen, like even his voice, I'm like, I don't. It's just not appealing to me. Drake makes all different types of music. He's an artist. He's a creator. He's next level. He's the GOAT. And a lot of people turned their back on him. And I hope he has a list a mile fucking long. And I hope he holds a lifelong grudge against these people, like LeBron James.
LeBron's a
a
turncoat.
If you're out there, if you're a celebrity and you were playing or dancing to "They're Not Like Us," you just picked your side. Like you picked what side you were on.
You made the list. You made the list.
You're on Drake's list. I don't know if he's doing this. I hope he is. This is.
I
just
think he
Drake,
is.
me speaking to Drake.
He seems like not too happy about the whole thing.
He shouldn't be, dude.
Yeah.
They're calling him a pedophile, like in the Super Bowl halftime show. So, like, think about that. People who don't know what's going on, they're like, "Oh, Drake's a pedophile."
Well, even like
Kendrick Lamar just said it. Everybody loves Kendrick Lamar. And the shit spirals out of control.
Was it the Grammys or whatever Kendrick won a bunch of awards on? He dropped his watch. I swear this was just so that part of that song could play. Because if he gets up there without dropping his watch, they don't play that A minor part in that song. They cut it off before that because he already starts his speech. Because I swear, like he dropped his watch on purpose. He timed it out because he wanted that to be played.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
When one of the times he won an award, they were playing that song.
Yeah.
So he walks up and he drops a watch, picks it up. So the song has to play longer because as soon as he gets up there to accept the speech, they cut the song off. But by him dropping the watch, it gave him enough time to get to that A minor part. I swear.
And they played it on the award show.
They played it on the
Grammys.
awards, yeah.
So that, and everybody sang it with him?
Oh, definitely.
Everybody yelled it in the crowd?
Everybody, yeah.
Oh, what a bunch of fucking losers.
Yeah.
Honestly, if I'm Drake.
That's a conspiracy
if
theory.
I'm Drake.
That's my own.
No, that's why. Of course, that's why he did.
Yeah.
If I'm Drake, I'm suing everybody in that building. I'm suing everybody that works with Kendrick Lamar. I'm suing everybody affiliated with Kendrick
Serena
Lamar,
Williams.
right? I mean, the whole thing is wacky. I mean, the fact people are just so easily brainwashed.
Because
right?
it was a good hook, though. Like that, I'll get.
Oh, yeah, he had
that part. Not that, like the.
Well,
us.
Where you could criticize Drake in the beef is that Kendrick Lamar came out with the song that was the most catchy.
Yeah, specifically that part
in the
too.
pop culture world.
In the A minor part, pretty mean but pretty fun too.
Yeah, fun.
If you're just looking at it as like a fight, that's a pretty fun, crazy thing to say.
Yeah,
Like,
that's a crazy thing to say.
Yeah.
I'm talking about like the song, like the music, like
Yeah.
the beat itself, right? It was a catchy song. Drake didn't really have Family Matters wasn't as catchy, but in my opinion, Drake absolutely puts him in a body bag for 8 minutes in Family Matters. And I don't think there's any coming back from some of the stuff he was going in on. But I guess apparently someone like Charlemagne the God doesn't agree.
is it over, or is there more coming out of this? Are they just done? Are they suing each other, or like?
No, it's never
there-
over.
There's
Paul.
another one coming.
Yeah, because Drake.
there'll be more songs.
So Drake did a thing where sort of towards the end of this beef, he dropped an album with Party Next Door.
Okay.
Called Some Sexy Songs for You. And it was more like it was like R&B Drake, right? But it was really not much, if anything at all, about the beef. I mean, there were a couple lines in there.
So most of
in
it
the
was
song,
probably done
in the
before.
song "Give Me a Hug," he basically hit some people with strays, like, you know. There's things in there, but it's not. That album was almost meant to be like, all right, that's great over there, but look what I can do. You can do that. I kept up with you in the rap battle, but now I'm going to lay this out. It has nothing to do with you because I'm not just in this for the rap battle. And I thought it was a good look. Some people saw it and were like, oh, he's a pussy. He's avoiding it. It's like, nah, dude. What do you want him to do? You want him to have a fucking boxing match?
It was also
Next.
well, yeah, they should do something like that. That'd be wild.
Maybe they should.
Yeah.
Kendrick
Drake would
Lamar
kill
will
it.
get squashed.
Yeah, Drake's pretty. I don't actually know if he's big, but he's
I think
big.
he is.
Yeah.
He's definitely bigger than Kendrick Lamar. I don't, and I'm not knocking Kendrick Lamar for the size. I mean, from one short dude to
yeah,
another.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
we usually stick together. But I just one thing that I hate in this world is when too many people like either gang up on someone else or take the side of someone else. Like overwhelmingly, where it doesn't make any sense.
Where it's like
that's why I always stay in the middle of politics.
'Cause
I'm always like, oh yeah, we can't do that. Let's do this, and then everyone's like on that a little too much, and I'm like, okay.
Well, because doesn't it
Pump the
feel like
brakes.
people almost get like a download? It's like, now this is what I believe.
Yeah, they're brainwashed.
That's what it feels like.
You
it's
can't
like
brainwash
full...
me. Yeah, you can't mandate things and make me do it. Okay, I'm not one of those people. So that's why I'm always kind of like around hovering in the middle there. But yeah, I didn't think we were going to do Drake, Kendrick Lamar today. So if you're looking for in the bottom of this full episode, we will have the chapters laid out. I didn't do it for the live stream because it was 4 hours, and I was like, I'm not going to go back and listen to 4 hours and lay those out, and neither are you. So, but the chapters for this show will be down at the bottom in the description here on YouTube and on Spotify. Is there anything that we should get into before we really dive into WrestleMania season? I mean, think about this. A year ago at this time, this show blew up on YouTube because of our wrestling talk, specifically our WWE talk, specifically with the Bloodline storyline going into WrestleMania. I mean, we almost had it going for like a year and a half. It began with like... Now, this show's been going for a while, and we did have a decent following on YouTube, but we got monetized on YouTube because we really
the Bloodline.
went all in on the Bloodline storyline. And going back to even the Vince McMahon allegations, and then it stemmed from there. I know you've said in the past that you think our podcast on the Vince McMahon allegations,
because that was the first one that
put
popped
us on in the wrestling algorithm in a major way. But look, the Bloodline storyline right now is kind of non-existent. It's not there.
Sadly.
It's very sadly.
Because it was theater last year. It really was. It was
Cinema.
Cinema. It was elevated. It was that next level last year.
Mm-hmm. And the year before too.
Yeah.
Like going into WrestleMania 39 at SoFi.
Yeah. That's what fed it, really.
Which
You're right.
I'm like, See, a lot of the stuff when I watch wrestling is like I'll watch something like the nostalgia stuff. You're like, oh, the colors and the logo and the arena and the lighting in the arena, right? Like that's the shit that catches you, and it's like, oh, like it's pleasing to watch. The lighting at WrestleMania 39 at SoFi and like the backdrop and the stage setup and the entrance, the whole thing was fucking magical, right?
Yeah.
And like Roman Reigns' entrance was epic. They had the orchestra, the choir come out. Like that was sick.
Yeah.
And then you get WrestleMania 40, which
pretty good.
Yeah, it was.
It kind of nothing special in a way. It was okay.
No, I mean you had the tag team match the first night with The Rock.
Yeah,
and then the next night you had Cody winning
that
the title.
Good. That was good. But other than that, it's not that memorable other than that part of it.
No, I'm trying to think. Well, it opened, WrestleMania 40 in Philly opened with somebody cashed in. Damian Priest cashed in his Money in the Bank.
Okay.
And CM Punk Drew McIntyre won the title, and then Damian Priest.
Okay.
Right? Is that what happened?
Yeah, something like that at least, yeah.
So now we're WrestleMania 41. It's in Las Vegas. And there's not really a Bloodline storyline. The main storyline is John Cena turning heel. And we did the live stream during Elimination Chamber, and we reacted to it live. It's on this YouTube channel. And that was as raw a reaction as you're going to get. I think from our standpoint, it was a little toned down because we predicted it was going to happen earlier in the show. Earlier in the live stream, we were talking about, we were
kind of brainstorming. You pulled it out of nowhere.
How is this going to go? The Rock is going to be here tonight. They're going to close the show out with it, we think. Cody, I said, Cody, it's too obvious if he turns heel. It's too obvious if Cody sells his soul to The Rock. So who's going to do it? We mentioned Roman Reigns is probably going to be there, which he wasn't, right? We mentioned maybe there's a CM Punk angle, Paul Heyman, and the whole promise, and like you owe me this, right? It's the Paul Heyman promise to CM Punk that we don't know what it is.
We still don't, but they might actually just let it
closer.
go.
We're getting closer, I think, with Roman Reigns now and that feud with Seth Rollins and CM Punk, and we'll talk about that too in a few minutes. But just going back to the John Cena situation, we predicted it. We said it's too obvious with Cody, and I said, what if it's corporate Cena? Because Cena's press conference at the end of the Rumble, where he sat there and said, you know what, I want to be in the main event because that's what's best for business, that went over everybody's fucking head. Because that's such a heel comment, it's not even funny.
I know.
Like, I'm going to do what's best for business. Not only in a vacuum is it a heel comment, it's like one of the main phrases of the most evil villain the WWE's ever seen in Vincent K. McMahon. Right?
The big bad.
And Vince McMahon right now is like, if you're quoting him right now, like that's something we should have all went, oh shit, that's a heel comment.
It's nuclear. It went over my head. It went over my head. I didn't pick up on that one bit.
I didn't either. Until that night. And that day we did the live stream leading up. I'm like, what is going to happen tonight at Elimination Chamber? Like, what is going to happen? And that was it. And we predicted it early in the night that it would be corporate Cena. Now, I don't know if it's going to be corporate Cena, but you get what...
Yeah.
You knew what I meant.
Yeah.
That Cena was going to sell his soul to The Rock. And we saw it. We reacted to it live. Now that I've had time to like sit back and try to analyze it, and I watched it over and over again, there's one thing. First things first. They should have, it should have just been Cena and The Rock in the ring. That's it. Okay? We said it at the time.
Yeah.
Why is there anybody else in the ring with them, right? Never mind Travis Scott.
Made no
I don't
sense.
understand it. Unless Travis Scott, that was like a time buy, like he paid for that. I don't know. Did he pay to be there? Is he paying them millions of dollars? That's the only thing I can think of, is that Travis Scott and his team paid the WWE, paid TKO to be involved in this storyline. Because it just makes no sense. And on top of it, he almost put Cody Rhodes, out of the main event because he cracked him.
He like boxed his ear basically.
Like-
It's like it's messed up.
And I don't want to be that guy that sits here and pulls the curtain back and tells you what's real and what's not. Like, I don't like doing that because these guys take bumps.
Yeah.
And I like the drama of it. I mean, we know it's storyline driven. You don't need me or anyone else to like shove that down your throat. But we all saw what happened. And we all know that was pretty fucked up.
Yeah.
Right? Now, I don't think, did we even notice it live? I don't think so.
No.
Not being as vicious as it was.
We noticed like he was touching his head and like his neck, and it was weird what he was doing even before he struck. Like,
because they were pushing Cody's head down and when Travis Scott was picking him up, almost like, dude, get out.
Yeah.
Like, stop. I still don't know. Like, to this day, I don't know.
The time buy thing. Then it makes me wonder about.
Because of the T-shirt.
It makes me almost wonder all of the other celebrity ones. Is this all? Is this?
Are they just paying? Like, is he have an album coming out?
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Is that what's really happening?
I don't know.
Probably is what's happening.
I really don't know. But he shouldn't have been in there. Travis Scott should not have been in the ring with them. Now, just looking at John Cena, here's what I think. Here is what I think is going to happen next. I think there's going to be somebody else that joins this group. I don't think we're just done at John Cena turns heel and now it's him and The Rock. Like, I don't know if we're going to see Travis Scott again, to be honest.
I could see them sticking. Well, maybe because he hurt Cody, maybe not. But I think they had some kind of WrestleMania idea.
Maybe
he's going to
All
wrap.
right, either way, let's just say he is involved, right?
Yeah.
I still think there's one more person because they're doing the hand signals, right? Didn't Cena put up 2? And like there's something else going on there.
And they were last year. They were big into this, like all the symbol stuff. So
yeah, and it just makes you wonder, like, is there somebody else involved, like a Stone Cold? Are you gonna bring these 3 legends back, like, you know? And they're just the guys that don't want the up-and-comers to steal the spotlight. And however you want to phrase or create the storyline, is Stone Cold the other guy that's part of that group?
I wouldn't hate it. I definitely wouldn't hate that.
Because then you get... Someone's going to have to get Cody's back at some point here, right? Who's that going to be? Because it's going to be just Cody versus The Rock and Cena. All right, here's wrong. Maybe I'm going about.
There's another
this,
angle too.
I'm going about this the wrong way, and this is kind of pissing me off.
Well,
hold on, this is kind of pissing me off. We just spent the last 2 years, right, talking about The Rock and Roman Reigns and the Bloodline.
Yeah,
and The Rock is now still involved in the main event scene, but Roman Reigns isn't. And we're like not addressing that whole thing anymore. Like,
doesn't make sense to me.
There is part of the Rock Roman thing that I feel like they gotta come back to. And if we're all agreeing that the Rock isn't gonna do a 1-on-1 at Mania, maybe it's another tag team match on night 1, right? So what would that be? Would it be Roman? Would it be Roman and Punk? And you get your Punk versus Stone Cold? Like, I started to think of it that way. So that's kind of why I brought Stone Cold. I went around.
You kind of like started at the end.
I started at the end.
Yeah.
But if people are going to get Cody's back and you're going to bring Roman back into some type of WrestleMania storyline with The Rock, this would kind of be the way to do it, right?
Yeah.
You bring another legend in to team up with Cena and The Rock as heels, and
do another night 1, night 2.
You do another night 1, and it's a 3-way tag team match.
I could see
6-man
it.
tag.
I could see that.
But if it's not, and this is simply just a way to get Cena to turn heel, I think that Cena's going to win the championship. Like, it's a lock at this point. And I think they'd be foolish not to give him the title.
Yeah. And again, like you said, he's doing this whole year. It's not ending at WrestleMania. No. For some reason in my head, I had WrestleMania as the end of the year.
No.
But it's not. It's the year.
The fact that they're not ending his career at WrestleMania tells me he's going to win.
Yeah.
And he should. I mean, the heel turn's great.
Because I was thinking that it was ending at WrestleMania, and then I thought there was going to be a second swerve where then he does screw over The Rock.
I mean, there could be another swerve, Paul.
Yeah.
You know, there's news out there now that's saying, oh, the WWE, they wanted Cody to turn heel, but Cody didn't want to turn heel, and it was a last-minute swerve. They're buying into the nonsense that we talked about with WrestleMania 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Right? When they were like, oh, they changed it at the last minute. They don't change shit at the last minute when it comes to the main event at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
With big
I don't
names
buy that
like
either.
this.
I just don't
These
buy
guys
that
have
either.
schedules that they need to like map out their schedules a long time in advance. They don't just make last second swerves that are that major. Especially if you think they don't have kind of the gist of the main event storyline planned out for the rest of the calendar year, you're crazy. Like, they already kind of know, I think, what they want to do at WrestleMania 42 next year in New Orleans.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Is this maybe a prelude to that? Do we get the Rock Roman stuff that year and not this year?
I mean, if they do, I think they
it's
get
a long
lucky.
storyline. Yeah, exactly.
Well, it's not that it's a long storyline, but I don't want to knock The Rock, but he ain't getting any younger.
And who the hell knows it can happen?
Like, I have no idea. Like, these guys, we look up to them and we look at them like they're superheroes. But I got news for you guys. Like, and this is not, again, I love The Rock. But there is going to be a day where, like, he's going to be limping to the ring and with a cane. Yeah. And I'm not saying that's going to be next year.
No, but
I'm saying you don't want to keep, like, putting all your eggs in this basket and waiting and waiting and waiting.
Because you're talking now it's 4 years and you already lucked out on 3 of them.
Yeah.
You're right.
So, like, how much longer?
But it just feels weird that we're not getting that more of the Bloodline, the Rock Roman thing. That it felt like they were just completely telling us that that's what's happening, and they've went away from that so much. It's still weird to me.
Yeah, they've just kind of. Well, I just feel like there should be like.
Is Roman hurt? Like, is there?
He was on Raw last week, right?
I know, but still, like, I don't know. Like, why is he not here all the time? Why is this not like more of a major part of the storyline?
I mean, but here's the other thing. You're such a legendary champion. You have this legendary run. You don't get there's no rematch?
Not even a mention of it?
Like, not even a mention of a rematch?
Yeah.
So, that's why I'm like, they're not stupid. They're going to get... He's getting back involved.
Right? Yeah.
Right now, it looks like Roman versus Punk versus Seth Rollins. And I'm not going to lie to you. That doesn't get me excited.
Nah.
Doesn't do it for me.
It's
triple
not
threat
bad,
for
but
no title?
It's not what...
A triple threat match with
for
those
no
names
title.
for no title is wasting that. They're wasting that match.
Yeah.
So you going to give us a title there? Are you somehow going to do something to get the title involved? Or we keep, because this CM Punk favor from Paul Heyman is hanging over our head.
And it feels like a loose end that they're not going to leave on.
But, like, what is it going to be? It's not going to be, like, help me beat Roman Reigns. I don't think that's it. That's not it. That's too up. That's, like, no way. We've already seen Paul Heyman in the middle of 2 of his clients with Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar. And we saw it for, like, a couple years in a row. I have a feeling the favor... I don't know. What if the favor was, like, get him out of this match and get him in the championship? I don't know. And then you have a triple threat. I would rather Cena, Cody, Punk triple threat for the championship and then just Roman versus Seth.
Yeah.
I would rather see that.
Because you don't need a belt for that. That has enough juice around it. You can make...
Yeah. I just think they're wasting a triple threat, and it just doesn't even really, like...
Do you think they just have too many guys right now? And it's like, where the hell is all these pieces
Well,
fit?
I think that... honestly, I think they're having a tough time putting Seth Rollins somewhere.
Yeah.
Because he's done it all. He's done it all, and he's still great. But you have all this other shit that you've worked towards. I think they must...
That is way better.
And I'm just trying... The writer in me is always looking at... The writer in me, when I watch WWE, like, what would I do? What would I do? I always keep coming back to, like, seeing Seth Rollins go, shit, this ain't it. But then it's like, what would I do with him? It's like, I don't know. Like, you can't put him in the mid-card, but right now there's no room for him in the main event. And he's not a guy you want to piss off from a business standpoint because he'll go right over to fucking AEW. That's not a guy you want to lose to AEW. You can lose the veterans, right? You can lose
the edges.
You can't lose Seth Rollins to AEW.
I agree. Completely agree.
And so you got to keep him happy.
Yeah.
Right?
And you got to figure out something for him at some point.
Even
if it's down the road
Sami
a little
Zayn.
bit. Yeah.
You could lose Sami Zayn to AEW. You wouldn't hurt you.
Before Seth Rollins.
And I don't think it would even...
Certainly before Seth Rollins.
I'm not even sure that wouldn't put AEW over any type of hump.
Yeah.
Either. But Seth Rollins goes to AEW? That's a huge move to AEW.
Specifically because his wife is probably coming too. So
yeah, I mean, I'm not even thinking bigger, that, but I think
that's the way it's kind of went so far. So
yeah, that would be something if he went. So you don't want to piss Seth Rollins off. I just don't think they know where to put him. Kind of the same with Drew McIntyre.
Yeah.
Like now he's in a match with Damian Priest. Yeah, there's a lot going on.
There's
almost too much.
You can't have a third heavyweight main title.
No, there's almost too much. So it's definitely an interesting WrestleMania, but I think if they didn't have the Cena heel turn, it would definitely be, in my opinion, somewhat watered down.
Yeah.
Because if you were just doing Cody versus Cena, and it was like...
And no bloodline stuff, really?
Yeah.
It's crazy. I still... That's what just makes me think, like, are they really trying to push it to another year? Because there was so much more meat on the bone for that. It was almost like we never really got the real payoff for that.
No, we never got it's a good point. We never got the real payoff. They had the War Games match, and that was kind of it, right?
Yeah.
Was that it? Did I miss something? No, because then you had the Rumble. Right? You had the Rumble. And then in the Rumble, it wasn't there.
Yeah.
Even now, like, Solo Sikoa is kind of like in the background of Fatu. And it's great. Fatu's great, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, gas, no brakes.
People predicted that too. People predicted that was going to happen.
And so, but yeah, you're right on the money. We didn't get the real bloodline payoff, which makes you think they're not done with it.
They
can't be. Because The Rock is still around.
It might be the best storyline of all time.
Because we were looking at it like they were doing things with The Rock and the High Chief, and
they
were 100% doing that shit on purpose.
The
family tree. And then what? And like, do you remember? Like, don't even. What was this?
Yeah.
With The Rock.
I know,
dude. That wasn't a mistake. Like, what? We never got back to that.
I know.
It ended up just being a tag team match. And then you had the Bloodline rules, and that was it. That was it. And it wasn't a last-minute swerve. It can't be. But you're right. There's been no payoff for the Bloodline storyline. So how are they going to get it back? And you got to think that Roman Reigns is going to have a rematch.
Yep.
Right? He's got to have a rematch.
And we're just running out of time now.
Because you're going to ruin... I got news for you. You keep Roman as this like heavy solo babyface for a long time, you're going to creep back into old Roman.
Oh, yeah.
And I know he can say all he wants, like, that guy's never coming back. I get that's how you feel.
Yeah.
But, like, if you keep being a babyface by yourself, the longer you do that, the more you get away from the guy that we all kind of fell in love with.
And people will turn on him. People will turn on him.
The tribal chief.
Yeah.
100% they'll turn on him.
They did it to Cena. Like,
yeah, I know. So, he's got to be the tribal chief again. Like that badass motherfucker.
Yeah.
That, even when he was the heel, people liked him. But he didn't come out and like acknowledge that he liked that you liked him. He still was like, acknowledge me.
Yeah.
He was still a heel. But, I mean, I think they got to get back to it. So, I'm wondering, whatever Roman's going to do, if it's a triple threat there, if it's something else, it's going to be night one. Right? Close out night one, maybe open the show night one, which would kind of suck. Because if you're CM Punk, like, you're going to... 2 years in a row be part of the opening show at WrestleMania on the first night?
Yeah, you're
Not
saying,
even like
why did I even come back?
because you know how I feel about it. Night one, the last match on night one of Mania is not a WrestleMania main event.
No,
it's not. The main event. I'm sorry. You can try to put your fucking.
It's the main event of the intermission.
Yeah, you can. You know. What do they call it? The trophies, the participation trophies.
Yeah,
you can put that on your mantle if you want.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. There's only one main event at WrestleMania. Even though we do 2 nights now, there's only one main event, and it's the last match before WrestleMania ends. The whole thing, the whole weekend. That's the main event.
It is.
It is. It is.
There's no arguing that.
They will argue.
They're wrong. They're just lying.
They're dead wrong. Okay? So you got to think maybe Roman does his thing night one and then gets involved somehow with The Rock night 2. Then we get the Bloodline shit going on again.
Yeah.
I don't know. Where are they going for Backlash this year? Are they going?
I'm not sure.
Last year, I think they were in Europe, right?
Oh, yeah, they were. Yeah.
They were.
I'm not sure.
Which the crowd is insane. You watch SmackDown?
Yeah. Not only highlights.
In Spain?
But yeah, it's wild.
Oh, man.
It's wild.
Crazy. And I don't know if that's because they don't get it as much as we do, but I actually don't think that's the case. I think it's just because they thoroughly enjoy life over there.
They haven't been beaten down.
And they enjoy just getting in an arena and yelling shit.
It does seem like they do like that. Yeah.
They love it. Yeah. I mean, you see it in the soccer stadiums.
Part of it is that they don't get it enough, though. So the hardcores are showing up. The hardcore of the hardcores are showing up to that.
Yeah. I don't know, Paul. It's an easy reason to say that's why they do it. I think it's a little deeper. I think there's more genuine love and affection over there than there is over here. At least in Massachusetts. In Southie, we're walking around. What the fuck are you looking at? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not necessarily showing up to the TD Garden like ready every night to like chant on my favorite wrestler. Yeah. I don't know, but either way, I don't know if they're going back overseas for Backlash, but that's the only thing that would make me say maybe Roman isn't going to get involved on night 2 is because if you are going to do a Roman Rock storyline, you don't kick that up again until SummerSlam.
Yeah,
right?
That feels like we're waiting so long now.
Yeah, where's SummerSlam? It's somewhere big. They're doing 2 nights, I think, again, right? Did they do 2 nights last year?
I don't know. I don't remember that. I don't remember.
Or they're going to do 2 nights?
I'm
I want to say they did or they're going to.
I hope they don't.
I want to say they did or they're going to. I hope they don't too, but they are.
Yeah.
There's talk of the Royal Rumble being 2 nights.
In a way, that makes more sense just because like you have the Women's Rumble and like so it's like there's more longer term things. In a way, you could talk me into the Royal Rumble more than you could talk me into friggin' SummerSlam. Too much.
I think everything should be one night.
Yeah.
Everything should be one night.
I wouldn't hate going back to Sundays, but I don't know. I think that ship has sailed.
I think WrestleMania is Sunday.
Yeah, but it's only
because there's 2 nights.
Yeah, exactly. If there was one night, I think they'd still be picking Saturday.
Look. I love WWE, okay? But there's definitely a point where I'm like 3 matches into night 2 on my couch going, man, I kind of feel like a piece of shit. Like, I've just watched way too much wrestling
It's gluttonous.
this weekend.
Yeah.
What day is it? Oh, your beard's growing longer. Like, fucking still wearing the same underwear from the day before, smelling like shit, haven't showered. And it's just a little too much.
I think I've usually only watched one of the nights, but last year they looped you in last year. You had to watch both nights because it was really a continuation.
They're going to loop you in this year, too. I know what you mean with the tag team.
Yeah, with the tag team. Yeah, exactly.
They did that.
Yeah.
And they did it the year before, too, because they had the Usos versus Sami Zayn.
Oh, yeah. I cared less about that, though.
Yeah. Well, anyways, we got WrestleMania coming up. We'll react accordingly as it happens. We do need to get to Mount Rushmore of pro wrestlers because we're going to forget. And we won't do it again, and we keep teasing it. Now, we kind of mentioned it on the live stream, right? Give me your Mount Rushmore. And it's not just WWE. Like, it's pro wrestling.
Yeah.
It's the history of pro
wrestling.
wrestling.
For me, it ends up kind of just being
let's
WWE.
do one. Let's do one.
The Undertaker.
That's your number one?
Well, no, you want to go in order? Okay.
Go in order.
Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan's number one.
Okay. Give me number two.
The Undertaker.
The Undertaker.
Is right there.
Yep.
See, now this is where it gets like kind of weird, but Stone Cold.
That's number three?
Am I forgetting someone? And I'm going The Rock next.
You're going Stone Cold and The Rock.
Yeah, but
Is
now
this it? You can't change it.
No,
Once it's in,
that's locked in.
Once it is in stone.
That's locked in, but I feel like I'm skipping someone though for some reason.
Well, you're skipping a lot of people. Because I was thinking
go.
about this as we were talking about finally doing. We've been talking about this for a year. It's final. There's no changing the Mount Rushmore. You can once Mount Rushmore is there. It's
you can
there.
change. We got the dynamite.
No,
No,
this is
I
it.
think I'm good with that. I don't think I'm. What do you have?
I'll tell you who I got. My Mount Rushmore of pro wrestlers is pretty similar to yours. And you are missing somebody. You're missing a couple big ones. You're missing at least one major one. You're gonna jump in and change it, I feel like. So just let me get through mine, and then you can get into yours. But my Mount Rushmore of professional wrestlers is as follows. Hulk Hogan. Obviously, it starts with Hulk Hogan. If your
There's
pro
nothing
wrestling
else.
Mount Rushmore doesn't start with Hulk Hogan, I don't care how you feel about the guy and things, just horrible shit he said in the past, or maybe how bad his beer might taste. I don't know. I haven't tasted it yet. However you feel about Hulk Hogan, you cannot deny that without that dude, we're not even doing the Mount Rushmore Pro Wrestling because I don't even know if it fucking exists.
It doesn't.
So Hulk Hogan has got to go, and Hulk Hogan is on my Mount Rushmore of pro wrestlers. He leads it off. I'm with you. The next guy on Mount Rushmore is The Undertaker. And I say The Undertaker, and this is such an easy one for me, not even because I wasn't even a huge Undertaker fan. I wasn't. But when you look at what pro wrestling is, it's number one, more than anything, it's about characters. I get it. In this day and age, we've began to lean more and more into like the real life wrestlers like that people enjoy, like a Daniel Bryan. You know, like more of like the common man. You know, he's not the biggest, he's not the tallest dude in the ring, and it's like, you know, David versus Goliath. You know what I mean? And there's a good amount of those guys now that have like regular Joe Schmo names and like people cheer for them. But deep down, pro wrestling is about characters, right? And that's how they were created. The Undertaker is the greatest character in the history of pro wrestling. And then when you add on like the length of time that his character was
real longevity,
was elite for, is insane. And then you go even deeper into it and you start to look at his old stuff like before he was even the Undertaker. And you're like, wow, this guy was around. I thought he was around forever, but he was around even longer than forever, right? So The Undertaker is a no-brainer for me. And I wasn't even the biggest Undertaker fan, but I'm willing to acknowledge greatness and longevity when I see it. And so you got Hulk Hogan, you got The Undertaker, and then I'm going with John Cena.
Okay. That's
John
a good one.
Cena's got to be up there.
Another longevity pick.
Got to be up there.
Yeah.
And so, like, to me, Cena, who was, WrestleMania 20, I think was his first WrestleMania, maybe, at Madison Square Garden. And you look at that John Cena who was out there rapping. You look what he became over the years. I mean, he just main evented and main evented and main evented. And all the championships that he had. And now he is going to, in my opinion, win another championship at this year's WrestleMania, which will give him the most championships, right? In the history of the sport or sports entertainment. So John Cena is like, it's a no-brainer for me to put him on the Mount Rushmore of professional wrestling. It's the final, and I teased this during the live stream. I said those three. I said Hogan, Undertaker, Cena. It's the fourth one where I'm like, damn. And I was thinking about this the last couple of days. Like, I could go in so many different directions, and there's so many different guys that you could throw out there and make an argument for to be on the Mount Rushmore that just probably won't make the cut. Only because there's somebody that just has something a little better than them or has been around a little longer than them. One of those guys that isn't going to make the cut for me, but it's like, man, how do I even justify this? Is Ric Flair.
Yeah.
He's not on my Mount Rushmore.
The only reason he's not on mine is because I just missed so much of it. Like, I knew him when he came to WWF at that point. I really saw almost nothing before that.
Yeah, you didn't
So
see
it's hard
NWA or WCW. I mean, you see it in later years.
Yeah, exactly.
When, like, social
but at the
media
time, he was just like an old guy coming almost when I first got.
Yeah.
So I missed it. I just missed that one. But I agree with you though. It's hard not to put him there, knowing everything that you know about the history of. He's been there forever, for decades.
Yeah, and again, he's done it all.
Yeah, he's the one who's seen who will be breaking the record.
Yeah, he's got the record. He's been around forever. He's got the promos.
Yeah.
He's the character. Like, so I'm kind of in not putting him on is kind of contradicting, but I would never put him on before the other three. And then it's like, all right, if I take everything into account and where we're at with pro wrestling right now. And it's like, all right, how can I leave someone? Yeah, The Undertaker was at the Attitude Era, but do you think of The Undertaker when you think of the Attitude Era? I know I don't.
No.
He was in it.
Attitude Era, I think Shawn Michaels, Stone Cold.
I think The Rock, Stone Cold,
Yeah.
Shawn Michaels, Vince McMahon. Triple H, DX.
Yeah.
Right? I think of DX. I think of Stone Cold. I think of The Rock. I mean, there's part of me that I think of like D'Lo Brown more than I do like some other people in the Attitude Era. Like, those are some guys that I think of, right? So it's like, how can I leave any of those guys out?
But then again, though, like the Attitude Era, we have that Mankind Undertaker match.
Mankind.
Yeah.
Well, my fourth and final face on the Mount Rushmore of pro wrestling. It pains me to say it, actually, because I'm leaving so many guys that I love off. But it just, I keep coming back to, this is a no-brainer, especially now with everything that's going on right now, it's got to be The Rock.
Yeah.
Like, it's got to be The Rock. Because you talk about longevity. I mean, Nation of Domination, how long ago was that?
Yeah.
Then the Attitude Era. Then he came back and main evented 2 WrestleManias in a row, right? WrestleMania 28 and 29 against John Cena. He keeps coming back. He's back again in the storyline and wrestled at WrestleMania last year. He's going to be involved in the main event again this year. Shouldn't say again. Well, yeah, again.
Yeah.
This year. So how is he not up there?
Yeah.
All the things that I checked off, all those boxes, he checks off all those boxes. I mean, I went back and forth between The Rock and Stone Cold in that final spot.
Yeah.
It was a hard one. It was a tough decision because
the longevity,
Stone Cold
though,
is like, you talk about characters, but Stone Cold, like, and should I punish Stone Cold for
getting it
neck
fucked up
and knee injuries? I don't know. And then you get Shawn Michaels. Like,
that's the
hardest
one.
Who's a bigger fan than Shawn Michaels and me? Yeah. I'm Shawn Michaels' biggest fan in the history of the world. Nobody's a bigger fan of Shawn Michaels than me.
He's number 5 for me when I came down to do that. When I looked at the list, he asked, it's still number 5, still above Cena for me, because there was so many like dead.
Shawn
years.
Michaels?
Yeah, because there was so many dead years. Like, I know Cena had longevity, but that was my least favorite WWE for most of his tenure, if I'm being honest.
Really?
Yeah, hated it. I hated it. I would only come back for WrestleManias and Royal Rumbles at that point. So I missed such a long period.
I'm trying to make this pick and not be biased. Like, I don't think you want to pick your Mount Rushmore of pro wrestlers shouldn't be like the top 4 guys you like, because my Mount Rushmore would probably look like Shawn Michaels, Stone Cold, who else would be on there? CM Punk, like I'd have him on there.
CM Punk's
and Brock Lesnar. Like, that would probably be like, if we're picking people. And by the way, Brock Lesnar was in my head because I'm like, longevity, an animal, championships, dominance.
They gave him
If
that
Undertaker's
they gave him
on
the
there,
Undertaker
he
win.
beat the Undertaker,
Yeah.
ended the streak.
Wrong decision at the time, but that's fine.
Maybe for another time. But like, Lesnar's got to be in the conversation, right? And you got to just cut him off. But I wasn't picking the Mount Rushmore based on like who I liked more.
Well, I
was
like
picking it
Cena.
I was picking it based on like who I think has had a bigger impact on the craft, on the art form.
Yeah, but how did Cena do that though? Because Cena was a one note for such a long time. I don't know. I hated that WWE because it was the most watered down PG nonsense for 5, 6, 7 straight years. So I just can't. He's not above Shawn Michaels.
Yeah, but
for
without
me.
him during those times, what do you have?
I do agree that they also didn't have much then because they rode him to the ground. People hated Cena. And not in like the good way. Like people were really, I'm sick of
Yeah, he
seeing
would like
this.
go away heat. Is that what we call it? But that's what made it awesome.
I don't know. Yeah.
Oh, I loved it.
I love Cena, but
I mean, he's got
just,
the music. He's got.
yeah.
He's got the titles. He's been around forever. He's
no Shawn Michaels, so I could never put him above that. He's just no Shawn Michaels.
and again, I'm not.
Shawn Michaels had everything, storyline, and another guy who got cut short because of drugs and also injuries.
I know it's tough not to
Yeah.
put Shawn Michaels on the Mount Rushmore.
Yeah.
Believe me, I have Shawn Michaels T-shirts. I everything he does, I mimic in life. I super kick people all over the place.
Yeah.
My whole life, I've been doing that.
For
I
me,
love Shawn
for me,
Michaels.
the Shawn Michaels Stone Cold was the one I had to decide because I had The Rock.
But that you're digging into nostalgia when you make that pick. You're like, that's what really.
Well, no,
like-
but that was the Attitude Era.
yeah.
That was the Attitude Era more than The Rock. Like that,
I wouldn't say more
they
than The
started
Rock.
it. They started it.
DX, yeah.
That the second DX was not as good as the first DX.
No. The first DX was the
Yeah.
Attitude Era.
Yeah,
That was the Attitude Era because they were battling against the NWO. The Attitude Era stepped in. WWE.
And see,
needed
I'm looking
that.
at I'm saying like the second DX was the Road Dogg X-Pac. That's the second DX. I'm like the Shawn Michaels, China, like the very beginning of the.
Yeah.
That was that.
when Bret Hart was still involved. In it
Yeah,
all.
like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
the last days of the old.
I
era.
get what you're
Yeah.
saying. Yeah, look, Shawn Michaels is great. I'm not trying to knock him.
Yeah.
So that's why it's a tough conversation for me to have. I just think I'm also factoring in, like, you have to factor in popularity with pop culture. And Shawn Michaels is huge to, like, me
Oh,
and you.
yeah.
Was he ever, like, the guy that...
Well, wrestling also wasn't.
Like, put it this way. If I go around right now and I started playing, like, Shawn Michaels theme music to people...
Yeah.
They might be like, "That? What are you, a fucking creep?
Yeah.
What is that?"
Yeah.
But if I played you like Stone Cold or The Rock,
Yeah.
or The Undertaker or Hulk Hogan,
Yeah.
John Cena, like those are the things, the factors that I thought of when putting the Mount Rushmore together.
Yeah. It's not a bad pick. Like, I can't really argue against it, but it's just those years were just kind of dead for me. So it's almost like similar to the Ric Flair
But
thing.
you are not going to put Shawn Michaels on your Mount Rushmore.
That's like the Shawn Michaels Stone Cold one. I have to flip back and forth. I went with Stone Cold because of everything that he did with Vince after that Shawn Michaels period. And it, in a weird way, I think Vince should somehow be on this too, but I know it's like not really like, I really do like it because he's given us so much.
Well, yeah.
For so long.
No, hold on.
His storylines too.
Of course. He should be leading he should be the first one on it. The George Washington of,
Yeah.
Right? But we're not, that's not what we're doing. We're doing like the actual wrestlers themselves.
Yeah.
The actual guys that got into it to be wrestlers, not the guys that started the company and then jumped into storylines.
Yeah.
I get it. Without
That's why I would never.
Without Vince McMahon, this thing doesn't exist at all.
But even his storylines, they're epic. Every single
they're
one
epic.
of them. Everything with the Undertaker, everything with
Yeah.
Stone Cold, like he is the Attitude Era, really.
yeah.
Like
I mean, I don't know what he's going to do now. There's been rumors that he's going to start his own company, or he's like bringing back some of his old guys, like an entertainment company. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, who's going to tell the guy no?
I'll definitely like look in on whatever the hell he does. I know that too, but I don't know.
I'm saying like by the way, that might have been a very poor choice of words, but like camera guys and the people that used to work for him, and they need like, you're gonna tell Vince like, no, I'm not coming to work for you. I don't think those guys would do that. I think a lot of those guys are loyal to him because he, gave them opportunity after opportunity. And I'm not saying they need to like kiss the rings, right?
Who knows at this point, though? Because they made him radioactive, so who the hell knows at this point?
Yeah, that's true.
Like they.
Well, Vince, I'm around if you need people to work. But anyways, that's my Mount Rushmore. We finally dished it out. I don't think there's any real shockers on there. I have Hulk Hogan, The Undertaker, John Cena, and The Rock. It's really it's the fourth one. Because that fourth one could be The Rock, Stone Cold, Shawn Michaels, Ric Flair, Brock Lesnar.
And even like, it's hard to say Mankind, but I could see some people saying Mankind. I could see it in a weird.
Yeah, that would be a tough one.
But if you were one of the people who appreciated him before, which I wasn't, so my Mick Foley stuff is a very short period of time.
No, I think you really have to get into like longevity. That's the reason Stone Cold's not on it for me.
Yeah.
It's a reason Shawn Michaels could be on it.
Yeah.
Right? When you think
Shawn
about
Michaels
his time.
had some longevity too.
Oh, I mean, he was at WrestleMania 5 with the Rockers.
Yeah, and I know he was away for quite a bit of the Attitude Era. The second half of it, but still.
And I'm sure there's a couple guys we're not even thinking of that might pop into the comments, maybe, when people pick their Mount Rushmores. But that's it. We've been wanting to do that for a while, finally. Got it off our chest. Anything else we got to get to here before we wrap this
curious
thing up?
Your thought on Marchand Bruins.
Oh,
That's
Brad
it.
Marchand being traded.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I mean, I get it from a standpoint of you don't want to give him a monster contract at this stage of his career, and you're just thinking, well, we don't want to lose him for nothing. But I wonder if, because Marchand was speaking at his Florida Panthers press conference like a guy who, one, is not coming back.
No.
Two, because I know a lot of people are like, oh, he might resign as a free agent. Did you watch that press conference? He's done. I mean, he's not coming back. He's crying because
they broke
he's almost
his heart.
in tears because he knows he's not coming back.
It's over.
I guess it's like, I think differently of the current team, where I'm like, all right, we're not calling you a contender, but some of the key pieces that you have in Pasternak and McAvoy and Swayman, it's like still kind of a decent fucking core.
Yeah.
Isn't Marchand somebody that you want to like still have around? He's wearing the C. Everybody respects him, unless there really is something to that Marchand Pasternak rumor.
Yeah. That's still a bad decision. If that's true, that's a horrible decision then. You just figure it out. Marchand's, if you think he's valuable, he is valuable. And if there's some kind of little squabble, you figure that out.
Well, it depends on what the squabble is, Paul. Yeah. If there is a squabble, if there is an issue.
Which I'm not convinced.
I don't think there is either. I'm just trying to figure out, like, you got one pick. But more than anything, I'm okay with trading the other guys you traded.
Yeah, same with me.
To get younger players and picks. But you still have that core that I just mentioned. And if nobody's hating each other on the team within that core,
why?
You should want Brad Marchand to be the leader of that core.
Even if you...
Like, who is it now?
Even if you
Pasternak? I don't...
Yeah, what the hell is that?
I don't think I see that.
Even if you give Marchand a smaller role next year. He's still the captain, but we're not relying on him the way they've relied on him for probably too long, honestly. But
no, and I get it. They don't want to give $7 million to a guy who's just going to be a cheerleader in the locker room. But are we really that down on Marchand? He's not. Yeah. He's way more than that. So I don't like it. I didn't like the Marchand trade. I was shocked to see it. I was especially shocked to see it to Florida. Like, I thought they would send him out like far away to the West Coast. I guess that's the place he wanted to go, apparently, for a chance to win a cup. Maybe this year. He thought that was...
Yeah.
I'm not understanding it. I almost feel like there is another story that we're not hearing about.
I wonder if they just were convinced that they're not re-signing him. They're not spending the money. He's a little banged up. He's probably not going to be ready until the playoffs anyway, which they're not in the playoffs, obviously. So you send him to a place.
Yeah, but I don't think you should be making that. Again, my point is you shouldn't be making the Marchand decision based on this year.
Yeah.
Like,
well, what if you have made the decision that you are done with him? You're moving on from the.
Then I'd say that's a dumb decision.
Yeah.
I'd say that's a dumb decision. I mean, I think they were like $1.2 million a pot.
Oh, that's crazy.
You can't meet at
can't figure that out. Yeah.
You can't give him that $600K boost.
That's crazy.
Like, come on now.
Yeah.
Like, come on. I could see if they didn't have a McAvoy, if they didn't have a Pasternak, if they didn't have a goalie that they believed in that they just paid, like,
yeah,
you didn't have any of those things. And it's like, all right, let's gamble. Let's send him off somewhere. Let him go get a cup. We'll get a pick. It's conditional. Maybe it turns into a first. That's different. But you got a core of players that, to me, I'm looking at it going, I'll give the extra $600K to make sure I have him with this group so that then we can build around them.
Yeah.
With some other younger pieces that we got, with the Carlo trade, with the Coyle trade, with a couple of the other moves, the Frederick, like, yeah, it doesn't make sense. I didn't like it. I still don't like it. I absolutely hate seeing Marchand in a Panthers uniform.
It's crazy.
And
you got to see it like 3 days after too.
Yeah,
It
at
was
the Garden.
wild. I know.
No, you can't. When you see pictures of the Garden now, you don't even know it's the Garden
True.
because of the seats.
Yeah.
I hate that they got rid of the character in that
Bring
building
back those, yeah.
and got rid of the yellow seats. The yellow seats gave that place character. Now it's like, wait, what building are they in?
Yeah.
I never know unless I see that big B in the center. When they're in the zone,
Yeah.
when they're in one of the zones
be
on
any
TV,
place.
I'm like, they could be fucking anywhere.
Yeah.
Right? And I hate that. I always would know they're at the Garden with those yellow seats. But yeah, I didn't like the Marchand trade. And that's that. I guess we got to move on from that trade.
Yeah, exactly.
What
are the Bruins though now? Like I don't even know what they are. Like I'm like, what the hell are we getting next year?
Well, who's the captain? I mean, I think we said something during the live stream a couple weeks ago. Did we say it in the live stream?
I don't remember.
Did it happen on the live stream? Was that last week? No, it was the week before. Right?
No, it was 2 weeks ago. Yeah, it was. It was the week before. Yeah.
And I think, did Marchand, he just got traded, right? I want to say we mentioned who the captain was going to be.
Okay.
On the live stream.
I didn't think he got traded then, but I could be completely wrong.
And at first I was like, I guess they're going to give the C to, I think I said Pasternak.
Okay.
But I think it's probably McAvoy. Right?
Yeah, it's not Pasternak.
I don't think it's going to be Pasternak.
It should be no one, probably. Do one of those.
Yeah, I don't know. Hey, but you asked me what are the Bruins now.
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought I did if they kept Marchand around. But they didn't. And now the Bruins that we knew, they're done.
Yeah.
They're done.
2011's finally ended.
Yeah, it has. And then I think we briefly mentioned during the live stream the Devers situation with the Red Sox.
Yeah.
And I just want to kind of follow up on that real quick before we end this podcast because I just find it incredible that. And I don't want to knock Bregman. I like Bregman. I think it's a good signing if you don't think about what position he plays. But I'm shocked that the talk isn't about Bregman changing positions. Like if Alex Rodriguez can go from shortstop to third base, Alex fucking Bregman can go from third base to second base. If it means keeping your superstar happy.
Yes.
Like it just like the fact that you don't even want to like keep Devers happy.
It makes no
is
sense.
mind-blowing to me because of Alex Bregman. I like Bregman. He's a great player. But he's not an all-time great. Devers has a chance to be an all-time great player. And you're going to fuck with that? Like, you're going to throw this, like, curveball at him? Like, hey, by the way,
you're going to be dealing with this.
not only are you not playing the position you love to play, but you have to, like, do what's best for the team.
Yeah. And then watch this every day.
Yeah, he's going to stand behind you
Every day.
in spring training and take ground balls with you. And, like, we're putting him right up your ass. You don't like any of this, but we don't give a flying fuck. That mindset with the Red Sox is mind-blowing to me.
That's why they
Like,
are what
why-
they are.
Is anybody talking about this before you made this signing? Because if I was making this signing with Bregman, I would sit down in a room with Bregman, and I would go, listen, Alex, we want you here. We think you're much better defensive third baseman than Rafael Devers. I don't think that even needs to be said. However, Rafael Devers is happy at third base. When he's happy, he's ripping the tits off the ball for us. So here's what we're going to do. We need you to play second base. We're not asking you.
And we know you're
We're telling you.
We also know you're good enough to make this adjustment. It's not like it's
Like, we're not putting you in left field like
Exactly.
Altuve's out there fucking, dodging butterflies out there. No. We're moving you over just a few feet. And you still will take ground balls. You'll have a shorter throw to first, Your double plays will be a little bit different, but you got it. You'll get it.
yeah. You're talented.
You got it.
Yeah.
That should be the conversation. I don't know that unless Bregman was like, I'm only coming if I play third base. Which, if that's what he's saying, dude, if you see
That's
Devers
already a problem.
and you go, then that's a red flag.
Yeah.
Well, what do you mean? Like, you're not going to, like, you're not even part of this organization. Devers is like our guy.
He's our only guy.
We just gave him, like, out of all the guys that we just let go, he's the guy we kept. He's the chosen one.
Yeah.
Like,
The only one who survived.
so it's like, it's just baffling to me that they had this mindset. And then you get into, like, the press conferences, how they responded. And they're like, oh, yeah, like, he's going to do what's best for the team. And he's coming out, like,
And
looking at it. He's looking at his translator like, what? What did Cora say? No. Yeah, what's best for the team is me happy.
And
you know
why-
where I'm happy? Third base.
Why is no one asking this over and over, too?
Because they love Alex Bregman. Bregman must be a media sweetheart, And they were all down in the... I saw a video the other day. I tweeted this out. I said, oh, man, they're going to run this guy. They're going to run Devers out of town, aren't they? They're in the locker room at spring training in the clubhouse. Still, just a couple days ago, asking him about third base. And he's with the translator, and he's saying all the right things now. But, dude, now there's a report that he asked for a trade. It's like, do you fucking blame him?
I can't believe they're doing this. I cannot believe they're doing
Paul, I'm not trying to defend his defensive abilities,
No.
but let's not. All right, let's not
say
make
what's
Devers
really-
out to be the worst defensive player in the history of the game. He's not.
He's fine.
He's not the worst third baseman
Yeah.
defensively. He's not, top half of the league, but he's not the worst in the league. So, like, I know the numbers guys might be all over this.
Well, but also,
they'll
like,
fucking
you're
do
like,
their thing.
the Red
but
Sox are only
I
going
watch
to be...
with my eyes.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up. Like, come on. Rafael Devers is like a generational superstar. And we've taken this guy, Alex Bregman, in. And instead of going, Alex, you're going to move to second, we've said to Rafael Devers, Rafael, in fact, we're going to say it to the translator, please tell Rafael he has to change positions.
It's so messed up. It's so messed up.
And he's like, what? And on top of it, they like double down in the press conferences, like out of the gate too. It's like they didn't even waste any time. Day one, dude. Day one, they're sitting there like, well, he's got to do what's best for the team. That's like, what the fuck? What planet am I on? And then they're like, oh, that's the old, the old regime. Devers was like, the old regime told me when I signed the deal, I'm the third baseman. The Red Sox are like, oh, there's a new GM. It's the same fucking regime. Like, it's a new GM, same regime. Don't give me that new regime shit. Okay? Don't give me that. But you're playing with fire because now Devers is going to want to trade. All right? And we're going to have Bregman at third base. Trevor Story's going to get hurt by June.
Yeah.
And who knows what else happens? And we're crowning the big three, Paul. You seen this?
No.
You haven't seen this?
No.
The big three? Well, first of all, the kid Anthony just smashed the ball the other night.
Okay.
And I think he's gonna.
We're doing the usual thing they do in spring training every year.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Well, the top prospects. We have like 3 of the top 12 prospects in Major League Baseball. To the point where Major League Baseball is putting them out on tweets like, "Oh, the big 3 and shit." And I'm going. I can only hope that
it's insane.
we're doing this now, so we can. Pump them up to move them.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what they did with all those prospects to get Beckett. They did it to get Sale.
But why even do it, though? Because it's like the people in the other clubhouse do the same thing. They know what you do. So why is everyone pretending? Like it doesn't actually make sense.
Yeah, I think the kid Maya, I'm not in on him, but Anthony, I'm Roman Anthony, is that his name?
I don't even know.
Dude, I'm not. I don't do the whole like Sox prospects thing like psychotically like a lot of people on the internet do.
I like it just because it signifies spring's coming and we're done with winter. It's the only reason I like it.
No, but I always have looked. If you've ever listened to me in the past, and this goes back all the way to like the Beckett trade, like I'm pretty consistent with how I feel, not just because I try to be consistent. This is how I actually feel, and it just so happens to be consistent with my original beliefs. Is that prospects to me, like if you're an organization that can trade for somebody in the mid to late 20s who's a proven stud, trade those prospects to get that guy. You have the money to pay that guy. Do it. I do it. Yeah. I mean, there might be like a special circumstance. Maybe one of these big 3 can come out here and prove to me early on that I'm wrong with at least one of them. But the way they're pumping all 3 up, it's just a little too much.
Yeah.
For spring training. Like, it's too much, dude. They've not even stepped foot on a major league field in the regular season. Like, there's just...
It makes no sense.
It makes no sense.
And it almost never works out, too. So.
But, anyways, that's my baseball thought. We'll react to the Red Sox as it moves forward. By the time you listen to this, who knows? Devers might even be really out there demanding a trade. I can't believe.
I hope not. I really hope they figure it out because they can't. You can't have him mad. Like it makes no sense. You can't upset him. He's the only one.
But it's almost like they want him to be mad. That's why it's like, what are you guys doing? What are you doing? And then we didn't do. We'll save Patriots. We got some time till the draft, but they made some moves. But it's like. The football people on Twitter are like, oh, this is a much better team. It's like, no, they're not.
I mean, we don't know.
Patriots are a better team?
Fox.
You think the Patriots are a better team right now?
What
is better to you?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, better than what?
Especially when you haven't seen anything.
Yeah. I don't know. All right, we got to wrap. Get the show wherever podcasts are available. You know the drill. Yeah, thanks for joining us. See ya.